Welcome back, and let us thank our sponsors for today's Meet and Chat, the National Endowment for the Humanities, the delightful University of Arkansas for hosting our event, and Doctors Connor and Swadicki Davis for sharing knowledge, wisdom, and inspiration. Thank you. Today's guests have a long, misconstrued history and many fan fictions written about their lives, some based in fact and others are just blatant untruths. Please welcome Victor Frankenstein and the Creature.
It's so great to be here.
Thanks for having us.
I just want to jump right in and get to the meat of our topic. What kinds of challenges do you find, face, or must deal with when you're being creative? Creature, let's hear from you first.
Sometimes it's really hard to find the time. And can I just say, I now hold about 4 doctorates. I was not this blubbering idiot shown in so many adaptations of my life.
Yes, but I gave you everything you needed to do what you do.
Well, you deserted me, and I had to figure it all out by myself. Thanks. As I was saying, finding the time, sometimes getting resources I needed. Early on, this was big. I mean, living in a cave, learning from a distance while having to find food, learning how to be social. You know, at that time, I was a mess. I was just horrific to look at. I was just overwhelmed. Sometimes I feel rushed or I lost my inspiration. You know, I still am afraid of failing. Looking at that blank page just stumps me some days. I've had to learn a bunch of new skills. I think all your listeners need to understand that being creative is just a process that happens over and over and over.
For me, it's about making that idea in my head come to fruition. Man, that is the worst. Being creative can be messy, but the expense was not a big deal to me as my family's wealthy. Sometimes I make things that maybe I ought not to, but for the most part, I hate having low confidence. It's exhausting. It just takes all I have to the point that I get ill or I'm just wiped out. I mean, many people don't realize making art or being creative in any manner takes time. It's an investment. Once you have invested so much time, it's hard to just walk away. Problem solving can be really frustrating. I just push through. You know, I have to admit that I worry a lot, probably more than I should, but I worry about the process. If people will like what I did, I self-impose hard and high standards. It just stresses me out.
Those are some great challenges to overcome. I don't think you are alone. As creative people, we all must pretty much deal with some or all of those challenges. Sometimes the whole process is hard. For a while, I just felt betrayed by art. Not enough sales to help my family get out of debt. It was hard. Not everyone has an abundance of funds, Victor. Don't take it for granted. Now let's change direction. I want to share with our listeners, what do you love about being creative? Victor, can we start with you?
Sure. There's so many things I really love about being creative. You know, as hard as it is, I like being immersed in my work. While I was making The Creature in my college dorm, another falsehood, I was a first-year student, not a doctor. I got my doctorate several years later. You know, I loved that no one bothered me. I loved dealing with that blank page. I mean, I made a person from scratch. That was hard. But I like shaping my projects, committing to an idea, and I have a strong sense of purpose. You know, creating can really change a person's perspective. I look at the work and the world differently. I appreciate that now. You know, I love to think outside the box. You know, it's so amazing. Though I must share that sometimes one's peers are not supportive of this. So it's important to have like-minded people around while you are being creative.
Can you explain what you mean when you say like-minded?
Oh, yeah, sure. When a person is being creative, don't hang out with people that are just hating on you and hating on what you're trying to accomplish. Find other people that support your ideas and can maybe be a sounding board for idea development. This is really important.
Thanks. Yes, it is really a valuable insight to those inside their creative processes. Creature, can you share with us what you really love about being creative?
Well, for me, it's knowing I have a sense of accomplishment. It's all so new to me, and I love that. I love to make and share with others as gifts or to help my community be a better place. I love to cheer up those who are down. I know what it's like to deal with depression, loneliness, and feelings that overwhelm, and then find a creative outlet. I love the feeling of contentment I get after I create something new. Unlike Victor, I don't get overwhelmed with fear or doubt. Should I have done that? Well, I don't get overwhelmed when I make something.
You're exaggerating a bit.
No, I'm not. I read the journal. You were freaking out. Let's keep it real.
Oh, okay. Creature, go ahead and continue. What more can you share about being creative that you really love?
You know, I started out alone, but things got better with time and practice. I learned to read, I learned to believe in myself, I learned to ask for help when it was scary. I made real friends. I learned that creativity changed my perspective, and it still does. I found that being creative relaxes me. I think in an innovative way. I come up with ideas to problem solve in my life and the lives of others. I've built a great sense of community, and I've been able to work with some great names in my creative community. There are times I like to work alone, but I find collaboration is more to my liking. I like to work with limitations. I find the challenge more rewarding. You know, I just like making art. I like making strong, happy communities that are filled with all kinds of art. I like helping others have a better life through the arts. I find it rewarding. But it didn't happen overnight. It took many years of practice and learning. I love the 8 studio habits of mind. When I get stumped, I reflect on those, or I take a walk, or work out, or maybe change media, and then I find solutions. I love when it all comes together.
Gentlemen, I just want to thank you so much for sharing some of the real challenges that creative people can face and what you love about being a creative maker.
Thanks so much.
It's been great.
Join me next week when we sit and chat with Woodsman and Red Riding Hood to learn about woodworking and survival skills in the woods. Until next time, get creating.